You've seen this before, right? You look at data and you notice groups or clusters of data points that seem to be similar. You think, maybe there's something going on here. Maybe there's a cause for this pattern. But what if I told you these patterns don't actually mean anything? They're just random, a trick of your brain, and you're not alone. This happens to all of us. It's called the clustering illusion, or faulty reasoning from small samples, and it can lead to some bad decisions. Let me explain. Imagine you're looking at a map of disease outbreaks, and you notice several cases in one neighborhood. You might think something unusual is happening there. Maybe there's a new disease spreading, or the water supply is contaminated. But if the disease is spread randomly, some clusters are bound to appear just by chance. It's like tossing a bunch of coins. Sometimes you'll get a streak of heads, but that doesn't mean the coin is biased. It's just randomness. Here's another example. People who play the lottery often look for patterns in the winning numbers, thinking it will help them pick the right numbers next time. But just like with the coin, random streaks are bound to happen. Any system that has random variation will produce clusters, which can make it seem like there's a pattern. But if you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, you'll see it's just noise. So how do you know if what you're seeing is a real pattern or just random noise? Well, one way is to take more data and look for the same pattern. If it's real, then you should see it again. But if it's just noise, you probably won't. Of course, sometimes you don't have the option of taking more data. Maybe you only had one chance to collect the data, or maybe it's too expensive or time-consuming to collect more. In those cases, you need to be extra careful because you don't want to mistake noise for a real signal. This is a big deal in finance, healthcare, and other fields that deal with a lot of data. When you work with a lot of data, you're bound to find some clusters that seem to be significant. But are they really? If you're not careful, you could end up making a big decision based on a false pattern. So how can you avoid the clustering illusion? One thing that helps is to remember that correlation does not equal causation. Just because two variables are correlated doesn't mean that one causes the other. There could be a third variable that's causing both of them to be correlated, or they could just be correlated by chance. Another thing that helps is to keep your expectations in check. When you're looking at data, don't go in with any preconceived notions about what you expect to see. Be open to the possibility that there's no pattern at all. And don't be too quick to jump to conclusions. Just because you see a cluster of data points that look like they could be part of a pattern doesn't mean that they are. Make sure to look at the big picture and consider whether the pattern you're re-seeing could be just random noise. In short, be careful of the clustering illusion. It's a sneaky cognitive bias that can trick even the smartest of us. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.